I'm Julian from Hotshot Athletic Martial Arts.
And today we're going to be talking about online tournaments. So Julian, can you explain what the two types of online tournaments are?
Yeah, no problem. So since COVID hit, there have been like a huge amount of online tournaments. So there's primarily two types. So we have our pre-recorded, where you take pretty much a video of your form and you submit it to the tournament to be judged later. And then there's actually live. So a lot of tournaments have been going to live on Zoom. So the judges and the competitors all go into a room on Zoom, and then they perform and they're judged right then and there, just like a real tournament.
Okay, so would you say that there are benefits to doing either one?
So yeah, there's definitely benefits and downsides to either one. So the benefits to both is, like, if you're doing a pre-recorded, you know, like, you're not at the mercy of the Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big thing is, you know, like, if you've got like a bunch of different people having Zoom meetings open and you're performing something live on Zoom, it can cut out on you. You know, that's been one of the big things for live on Zoom. If you're pre-recording, you know, you've got a decent camera. Even your phone cameras are great now. You know, it'll pick up the audio. If you make a mistake, you know, you can go again, right? So it's not the same as a real tournament, you know, but it's got its perks. Whereas the live on Zoom, it's exactly that. It's live, right?
Yeah.
It's exactly like what a real tournament will be. You make a mistake, you're at the mercy of your mistake. So there are pluses to both, negatives to both, but I mean, they both have their place.
Okay, so what would you say the biggest negative is for both of them then, if you're thinking from another standpoint?
So if I were to go with the biggest con, like for both, the pre-recorded is you can record over and over and over and over and over, right? You can pretty much just keep recording until you got like a bomb kata, and then in some situations you can actually use that exact same video in multiple divisions. You can use that exact same video in multiple tournaments.
Okay.
Right? So you're not even performing multiple times, you're just paying to submit the same video. Some tournaments have been able to kind of like get around that by having to make sure that you have like a specific code that they give you like the day before it's due, so you have only that one day. So that's a downside to that. I don't like seeing that people are using the same videos over and over again. Just personally, you know, like that's what you do, it's what you do. That's just for me, I wouldn't do that personally. With the live, again, it's the Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah,
so if you've got decent Wi-Fi, it's good. But even if you have decent Wi-Fi, what I've noticed on Zoom is that like you'll do a sound and sometimes it'll just get cut out completely. For some reason, the volume just shuts down, right? So sometimes you forget to turn on your volume, right? You forget to unmute yourself. I had a student that did an amazing routine, and the video was sideways and muted for musical, right? So, and it's musical where you're doing the throws, the flips, the cat. He caught it all, and then they're like, "We are so sorry, you were sideways and muted the entire time," right? So, you know, that wouldn't happen in real life, right? So
he knows who you're referring to. You know who you are.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I was there too. I saw it, but I was watching him. I wasn't looking at the camera. So, oh well.
You were coaching. You weren't being a video guy.
Yeah, he did it again. Dropped it.
Oh.
So he ended up competing later that day in an extreme division. Won the extreme division. So it all worked out.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you recommend one over the other, or does that matter in your opinion?
Like, it's a preference thing, I think. You know, like some people really, really, really don't like one or the other, right? So if you really don't like one or the other, but it's going to keep you competing to do the other, then it doesn't matter to me. It really does. Just do whatever makes you comfortable at this point.
Okay, so would you say that as an instructor you would recommend online tournaments?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I think everyone is now starting to realize that, you know, this is a long haul. You know, we're reaching a year of being under these restrictions, you know. So as a high level competitor, you know that if you take an extended amount of time off and then you try to just jump back in and compete, you got ring rust. Ring rust is a very real thing. You know, you go in there and you compete for the first time 6-7 months, and you're like, wow, I'm not comfortable in here anymore.
Yeah.
At least if you're doing virtual tournaments, you still create that sense of comfortability, right? I don't even know if that's a word. It's a word now. But you get comfortable, right? Being there, performing, and that's a big thing. I prefer Zoom and live over the pre-recorded.
Okay, you like personally for
Personally,
yourself?
I would, if I'm gonna compete, I would not be doing the pre-recorded anymore. I'd prefer to do the live on Zoom. I like that. Where I think you're gonna get the most benefit, because you've got that that sense of you make a mistake,
Yep.
it's going to be consequenced, right? Whereas if you're pre-recorded, I make a mistake, I stop the video, I do it again.
Yeah.
So you don't want that. That's not where you develop as an athlete and as a competitor. You develop when, you know, you make your mistakes,
Yeah.
right? Because then you're trained to not make those mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. So from your point of view, would you say that you would recommend online tournaments for someone specifically, or people in a specific age category or level? Because you were saying how at your experience level you think that it's really beneficial. So would you say that someone in more of a novice?
Yeah, no, all the way. Like anybody, bottom to top, everyone should be doing these online tournaments. One of the things that, to be honest, made me the most sad is that there are some big names, big competitors that didn't do anything.
Yeah.
The entire time, you know. And again, it's a matter of, are you comfortable or you're not comfortable, and I get that, but I mean, if you want your students to continue doing something, I didn't necessarily enjoy doing virtual tournaments.
Okay.
You know, I did 6 or 7 of them, I think, but I did them.
Yeah.
Right? And it was just something to show them, I want to do this to keep myself loose and ready for if things go back to normal, right? You just gotta make sure that you're doing it. All age groups, I think we had a 4-year-old white belt competing this last weekend,
Awesome.
all the way up to black belt adults, right? So no, everyone in between.
Yeah, I need to get my butt back in the ring.
Helps.
Yeah. Okay, so you kind of mentioned your experience a little bit. Do you have anything else to touch upon in your experience with even judging online tournaments?
Yeah, that's the one thing that, again, that's kind of a downside to tournaments is judging accountability.
Yeah.
That's a big one, you know. A lot of the times, you know, when you go to an in-person tournament, you know, judges are a lot more attentive.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
They have eyes on them.
constantly.
Yeah.
You know, you got parents watching, you've got the competitors watching, everyone's on you, you know. So if you aren't looking,
Yeah.
Everybody's on you, you know. Whereas I'm not gonna lie, you know, a lot of the time I've seen judges straight up looking down at, I'm pretty sure their phones sometimes, judging a poor kid's division. I understand that sometimes it's a lower ranking division and it is what it is, but I mean, when you're in an in-person tournament, whether you're a 4-year-old white belt or a 25-year-old black belt, you're getting that respect from the judge.
Yeah.
Because everyone's watching. So in terms of judging, it's just, I think that accountability aspect is a little tougher to maintain. I think all the leagues that have been doing it right now have been doing a really good job. I mean, a lot of these people are doing it out of the kindness of their hearts. They're
Yeah.
volunteering their time.
Yeah.
So it's huge, right? But the only thing that I would say is that if you are volunteering that time, thank you, kudos. Just make sure that that respect is there as if it was a real tournament.
Yeah.
That's the
If
only thing
you're
I'd say.
if you're volunteering the time, then allocate the time.
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
To do it.
Be dedicated like you would in an in-person tournament. You know, it just prevents the sport from going in a direction that we don't want it to go, right?
Yeah.
So we want this sport to be legitimized, and it's well on its way. It's in the Olympics. You know, so many things, so many good things have happened over the years, right? So, you know, if somebody from the outside, if we want this sport to be something that other people, you can have casual fans, right?
Yeah.
That's a big thing for me is imagine you know how UFC, you don't have to be a fighter to enjoy the UFC.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It would be so amazing to have people that came to tournaments, not because they had their kids in it, but because they enjoyed watching the black belt division, right?
Yeah.
That's so awesome to see. So having great competitors, great judging, organized, it's all needed in it, right? So the more we hold people accountable, even on Zoom and online, the better that's going to translate, I think, back to in person.
I think it's because we also have a lot of students and people that are using it to stay motivated, especially during this time, right?
Yeah.
You have people that aren't in the greatest situation still trying to compete. We saw the other day that there was someone doing it in their little balcony or
Yeah,
something.
they literally a 3-foot balcony by maybe 3 by 6. The kid did his form.
They did it anyways because
Yeah.
they wanted to, and they were driving themselves, and you want to keep that passion up. So if
Yeah.
you have people that are contributing to that, I think it's really beneficial.
Absolutely.
So just to finish off, do you have any final thoughts?
So in the grand scheme of things, you know, this is a good opportunity to just kind of thank everybody and all the promoters that have kept us going, you know, kept us motivated. I know a lot of people like were trying to wait this out at the beginning, but as soon as they realized, like, you know what, this is gonna be happening for a while, you know, you had like the sport martial arts circuit last year was done for free. That was phenomenal. Like they did 10 tournaments for free, you know. This year they have a paid tour. I know WKC, which is super cool. The WKC have decided to do a tour this year that I believe if you win first, and don't quote me on this, okay, but I believe if you like win first throughout the league, you might get like an invitation to Worlds automatically. So like there's incentive there to do it, you know, and that's huge, right? So you got WKC, you've got SMA, you've got the NASCA tour. They've all built incentives to do the tournaments, you know, like don't just do the tournament for that certificate that's emailed to you. No, you're doing the circuit to achieve something still, and that's what tournaments are about, is, you know, like that test and that push. So the circuits that have been doing that, like I said, WKC and everyone else, kudos to you guys. You know, you've kept my students motivated, you've kept me motivated as a coach, so I can't say thanks enough.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us today. I hope you learned something from Julian's take on the online tournament circuits. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave a comment below. And if you want to check out Julian's social media, I will also leave that in the description box below. And thank you for joining us today. And I'll see you all next Friday. Bye.